Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sam. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you want to get crypto updates and blockchain updates, and news, whatever. Right, so today I want to talk about Polkadot. It's been in the news for a while, right? And I have a lot of my students asking me, "Hey Sam, what's this Polkadot all about? Is it the next Ethereum killer?" Well, I'm not a fan of you know those who say things like that. Ethereum killer. Ethereum wasn't die for the next cryptocurrency to become number one or number two, right? So all blockchains can live side by side. One don't need to die for the other. But let's just take a deep dive into Ethereum now, into Polkadot rather. I won't rush through. I will dissect everything one by one, layer by layer. Of course, it won't be too technical so everyone can understand. So why are we talking about Polkadot? We are talking about Polkadot because Ethereum is having scalability issues that are yet to be solved. And let's see what Polkadot has brought to the table. All right, so Polkadot development is on track to deliver the most robust platform for security, scalability, and innovation. Interoperability, economic transactions. These are just write-ups which I don't really read because that's not what we should be looking at. Want to look at the core blockchain itself, right? So basically, to put, I've read everything actually. I don't want to read it through this video. What Polkadot is trying to do is to provide a better alternative for building um, dApps, right, and also make faster transactions. And just in case you don't know what this word means, it's just a way for blockchain to to communicate with each other, transfer data and the rest. And Polkadot does that. Easy blockchain innovation creates a custom blockchain in minutes using substrate frame network, and that is pretty cool. I must tell you, that. I think that this is like the my favorite stuff on Polkadot. Right, so these are just the outer layer stuff, but let's dive right into it. But before we dive into it, let's go back to history and see how Ethereum had issues. So before the last bull run, right, Bitcoin had um, about, as you can see here, 94% of the market dominance. And then as people started coming into cryptocurrency, the dominance of Bitcoin kept reducing. So as you can see, from 94%, it went up to 94, and then it kept going down. You see, now this was the last bull run, and as you can see, as we're approaching the bull run, the market dominance of Ethereum or Bitcoin was reducing. Now, why was it reducing? Is a very simple thing. As cryptocurrency was becoming more popular and people started using Bitcoin, and then they started realizing that, hey, Bitcoin is slow. Sometimes you send a transaction, it takes forever. And then people started asking themselves, okay, is there a better cryptocurrency that I can use for this same purpose, for what Bitcoin can do? And then people discovered Ethereum. So as you can see, as the usage of cryptocurrency was increasing in the last bull run, the market dominance of Bitcoin was reducing. Why? Because Bitcoin was slow. It's a simple thing in life, right? It's a simple mathematics. People want something that is faster and cheaper. And as dominance of Bitcoin was reducing, the dominance of Ethereum was increasing from here. And then they almost met. So as you can see, dominance of Bitcoin fell from 94% to 37%, and Ethereum increased from 0% uh, to 31%, almost just 6% difference. And then when the whole ICO boom crashed, and then Ethereum went back, and Bitcoin started going back up again. You see, now here's the beautiful part: the scalability problem in Bitcoin has not been solved. We only have second layer solutions such as Lightning Network. So Bitcoin still has those issues, all right? But Ethereum still has those issues also, but of course they're trying to bring out Ethereum 2.0. Now, what was the problem with Ethereum? Now, if you don't know the problem with Ethereum, you wouldn't know if Polkadot is trying to solve that same problem. Now, let's quickly check out the problem with Ethereum, right? So we'll have to go back to history, and that was the first time it was discovered was when CryptoKitties was launched. So CryptoKitties slows down transactions on Ethereum network. So what happens is this: CryptoKitty is just a digital card. Of course, these days they call it NFTs, where anyone can actually go to the Ethereum blockchain and buy these cards. And just this game alone slowed down the Ethereum network, right? It brought it to a halt. Not a complete halt, but Ethereum became really slow and expensive. So this is the problem. So what made Ethereum this slow and had this problem? Now you have to go to Etherscan. So one of the problems is that um, Ethereum can't take much transactions, okay? And Ethereum currently uses proof of work. And people keep saying Ethereum's goal is not to be like Bitcoin, but that is actually not true. Ethereum was built to be like Bitcoin, but programmable. And I'm going to prove that to you. So as you can see, Ethereum can take just 13 transactions, which is obviously too slow. And it has been like that even around these days of CryptoKitties, right? So of course, that's the reason for Ethereum 2.0. So this is the reason why Ethereum can't take much transaction. So why is Ethereum taking just 13 to 15 transactions? Right, so it has to do with the block size. So the block time, what's the block time or block size of Ethereum? So the block time of Ethereum is 12 seconds. Approximately, let's just say 15 seconds, but yes, it's 12 seconds. So that means it takes about 12 seconds. Okay, block time, yeah. About 12 seconds for a new block to be formed. And that is pretty slow. Now, do the calculations in your head. So Ethereum can only take maximum of about 13 transactions or 15 transactions, and each block comes out in 12 seconds. Now, think about the millions of transactions that can go on within a second. You see, so that means if we have 1,000 transactions per second, Ethereum cannot handle it. Why? Because each transaction is stored in a block, and each block can only take a maximum of 15 transactions, right? So now do the math in your head. If each block can take maximum of 15 transactions, right? So I'll have to close my WhatsApp. Sorry. If each block can only take a maximum of 15 transactions, right? And their blocks gets produced every 12 seconds. How long will it take to process 1,000 transactions that comes in a second? So you just have to do 1,000 transactions divided by what? The number of transactions that can be stored in the block. You see, so that is 15. So that means it's going to take Ethereum 66 blocks. Now, I'm just doing it in the layman's way. It's going to take Ethereum 66 blocks to process 1,000 transactions. Now, what's the difference between the block production of each block? The block time is what? That is 12.889. Now, of course, this is just the layman's way of putting it. So this will now be 66 times 12.89. Let's just make it 13. Right, so 866 seconds to process 1,000 transactions. That is pretty slow. Now, if you don't understand the math, just go back, take the video back a bit and word from the beginning. So now, what is the problem with Ethereum? I've stated it. 12 average of block 12.8 seconds per transaction. That's pretty slow, and it has a transaction TPS currently of 13.7. That means it can't take much transactions. That is what it means. Now, for Ethereum to be able to have millions of transactions per second, that means the block time should reduce to about 1 second, right? 1 second, and maybe the block size what is block size? The number of transactions that can be stored in the block should be increased. So that means we need Ethereum to have a block time that is way lesser than this. Let's say around 1 second, or around 3 seconds, or let's say 1 second, to be able to have many transactions. It's just simple maths. Now, for we to say Polkadot is better than Ethereum, we need to find out what the block time of Polkadot is and what's okay. Let's start with the block time. So average block time of Ethereum, of course, as you can see, is 12.89, and then let's see for Polkadot. Now, to get the block time of Polkadot, we have to go to of course, the Explorer. Let's see. So this is Polkadot Explorer. As you can see, Polkadot, the Explorer of Polkadot has been recording between 6.04 and about 6.01 block per second. Right, this is blocks, right? Yeah, average block per second. So around 6 seconds, which is just half of what Ethereum can do. You see, or should I say double? So Ethereum does 12 seconds, and Polkadot is doing 5. So I don't see much. Of course, that's like 50%, right? So we can say Polkadot is 50% more efficient in block production than Ethereum. That means if Ethereum can do, that means theoretically, Polkadot can handle more transactions than Ethereum, because Polkadot has a block time of 6 seconds, while Ethereum has a block time of 12 seconds. You see? Now, you can also browse that out yourself and just do Polkadot block time. So many solutions online. So see, 6 seconds. You see? Ethereum can do 12, and Ethereum is having these same issues that Ethereum is having these scalability issues, and block time Polkadot can do 6, which is just 50% better, right? So let's move on. Now let's go back to what Vitalik said some few months ago, and a guy called Justin Drake actually said we made Ethereum 2 hard for ourselves. Many design iterations, many community clients versus one EF led. You might not know what that means, but what I wanted to see is what Vitalik replied. Now, this is Vitalik himself. He said, "My biggest regrets today are not launching Ethereum 1 in July 2015 instead of September 2014. They are all the deficiencies. They are all the deficiencies in Ethereum 1 that we now have to spend years painfully fixing, and the rest, blah blah, gas costs, no account abstraction." Now, you might wonder what account abstraction is. I'll explain that in a moment. Just stick to this video. What is account abstraction? Now, account abstraction is just a way of making cryptocurrency more user friendly. I'll give an example. Let's go to Etherscan. Let's go back to Etherscan. We live in a world where everything is supposed to be easy. Now, if you make life easy for people, if your product is easy for an average user to use, obviously you will get people to come on board your platform to use your platform. Now, currently Ethereum is not easy for people to use. When I mean easy, I'm talking about the average user, right? Of course, it might be easy for we tech guys, right, and crypto OGs to understand, but hey, user, how can they easily use Ethereum? Now, this is a typical Ethereum address, OX756 blah 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 blah. We all know that's not easy, right? So what is account abstraction? Account abstraction is just a way of maxing. Of course, he was referring to on-chain account abstraction, not something done by a third party. Sorry, I'm trying to check my system. That's the message here. So Vitalik was suggesting that instead of having 0x75 as seen here, all these things, they are not user friendly. We can have people's names. That's what account abstraction is. We can have people's names instead of in those numbers. So that means if I want to send money to Vitalik, I don't need to type 0x blah blah blah, those long strings of numbers. All I just need to do is type Vitalik and send the money, and the money goes. That's what account abstraction is. So what does that mean? What does that mean? That means blockchain of the future that you should look out for are blockchains that have what? High transaction throughput, very, very low block time. That means the block time should be around 1 second or even lesser than 1 second, right? So I'll list them again. High throughput, low block time, between 1 second or less. No transaction fee. Not every transaction should have a transaction fee, and I'll explain that in a moment. So that's what Vitalik was trying to say here. So now, if you can find a blockchain that have all this information, then you found yourself a low cap gem, a gem. So now let's go back to history, something that happened last year. Now, of course, in our crypto space, there are so many politics that is happening, and if you don't know what's happening, you just buy into the hype, and of course, it's politics. Now, look at what Reddit did rather. Reddit asked Ethereum community to no, this is not the first news I want to read. There's one that came out in, was it Forbes? Yeah, this is it. Now, Reddit is launching Ethereum tokens for its subreddit. When I now now let's analyze these things. We are all learned people. We all went to school. Now let's go to Reddit. Reddit dot I think it's reddit.com and see how possible this thing is. When I saw that news on Forbes, I just knew these guys were playing politics. Now let's check out something. Let me show you what's going on behind the scene. Now I want to show you the number of users that Reddit gets every day. Now remember I said Ethereum cannot take more than 15 transactions in a second. Now Reddit as a platform, this is Reddit. Reddit has a monthly visitor of 1.7 billion. Do the maths. 1.7 billion users. First of all, Ethereum cannot handle 1.7 users. 1.7 billion users in a day, in a month rather. Ethereum will just crash and you will literally see smoke coming out of the real blockchain, right? So 1.7 billion users. How can Ethereum handle that? When I saw the news, I just said to myself, these guys are playing. Now, when did this news come out? This is May 2020. So Reddit is launching Ethereum tokens for its sub. When I saw it, I just burst into laughter. I was like, are these guys kidding? So they have a 2.4 million members. Now, if 2.4 million members try, attempts to make transactions on Ethereum every day, Ethereum will crash. So this news came out in May. Now, guess what happened few months later? May, just the next month. It wasn't even up to 6 months. It wasn't even up to 6 months when they launched the token. And then they came out and said, Reddit asked Ethereum community for help to scale tokens for 430 million users. You see? Now, what does this mean? They discovered it was slow, right? And, the cost of gas, like Vitalik said it here, that, where is it? Gas cost was just so much. And then when I saw the news the next month, I was like, you guys have got to be kidding me, man. Anyways, these are the problems with Ethereum. And of course, you won't hear people say these issues because this space is controlled by whales, and most of the whales are in Bitcoin and Ethereum. And of course, they will mask the problem so you don't know what is going on, of course. But people like us will just say the truth as it is, right? And when this happened, when this news broke out, these guys from DApp network, they were like, hey, we can actually help, right? So DApp network offers bounty to scale Reddit token. You see? So this was this news. Of course, I wrote this news, and then blah blah blah. They have 430 million users. Ethereum scaling will. Anyways, just note, I'm just trying to tell you the problems that Ethereum have, and if DOT has solved this problem, then DOT is the next thing to go to. But now the first thing we've observed is that DOT has just 50% efficiency in terms of block production. So Ethereum block time is 15 seconds, while that of DOT is just 6 seconds. The difference is not too much, but at least is what's talking about. Now I have a slide. I have a slide that I want to show us. Now, of course, we're trying to dissect dots. So now, slide 1. What does blockchain do? Process data. This data could be names of cars, real estate, or even money. Now, let's be honest to ourselves. By the time blockchain goes mainstream, um, Ethereum, before Ethereum 2.0, assuming we go full mainstream this year, Ethereum will still be in massive problems, right? And what happened to Ethereum and Bitcoin back here will repeat itself. And this time, faster blockchains, we have the dominance. Nobody knew how better or how good Ethereum was until they started noticing issues with Bitcoin. And then the market dominance of Bitcoin kept reducing, and people were going into Ethereum. Why? Because Ethereum was way faster than Bitcoin. You see? Now, the same thing will repeat itself in the coming months or years. By the time people start using Ethereum, for transactions and for building dApps, they'll now realize that, hey, Polkadot is better. And then they'll start moving to Polkadot. The journey just keeps going on like that. And then the question is, do we have something better than Polkadot? Now, for those of you that have watched my video for a long time, you should know where I'm going to right now. Of course, there's something better than Polkadot. And it's something that most of you don't want to hear, but of course, that's the truth. Let me show you guys something. EOS versus BTC versus ETH. Now, the fastest blockchain in the world is actually EOS. You see? And I'm going to show you guys right here. As seen here, you can also check it on the I think EOS, the website is EOS Network Monitor, something like that. EOS Network Monitor. Yep, that's it. And we can also search the block time of EOS. Now let's see, what's block time of EOS? 500 milliseconds. Now let's translate that to milliseconds to seconds. Milliseconds to seconds. So 500 milliseconds is 0.5 seconds. So the block time of Ethereum is what? 15 seconds. The block time of Polkadot is what? Did I say block time? Yeah. Block time of Ethereum is about 12 seconds. Block time of Polkadot is 6 seconds. And the block time of EOS is what? 0.5 seconds. EOS is light years ahead of these guys. I mean, light years. Now, what is the problem with EOS? I'm going to say, of course, like I told you, I'm going to be very transparent as possible. What is the problem with EOS? Now, the problem with EOS is lack of marketing. That's just the only problem they have. I always tell people, having a good tech is not enough. You need to market what you have, right? So, as you can see, the block time of EOS is 500 milliseconds. EOS is light years ahead of Polkadot and light years ahead of Ethereum. Let's see, where is EOS Network Monitor? This is EOS Network Monitor, and EOS Network Monitor has hit a TPS of 3996. What does TPS mean? TPS means transaction per second. That means the number of transactions that can be stored, that can be processed. No, not that can be processed in a second. TPS means the number of transactions that has been processed in 1 second. So the highest, right? So right now it is 38 transaction, 37 transaction per second, 36, 35. Why this is the highest? Now let's go back to Etherscan. Now Etherscan has maximum right now is just 13. EOS is what? Let's see. Maximum is 3996. You're seeing how EOS is light years ahead of Ethereum, right? And Polkadot. Yeah, so here's the thing. EOS is better than Polkadot. Of course, EOS can do everything Polkadot can do. Now, what are the things that Polkadot can do? Problems with Ethereum. Okay, I've already mentioned all this. Large block time gap between of 12 seconds. High fees because Ethereum wanted to be like Bitcoin, right? Ethereum was using proof of work, and they're trying to move to proof of stake right now. Vitalik also said that himself. Fee for every transaction. Now, this is a problem that has not yet been solved on Ethereum, and the earlier they solve it is better. Now, why do I think every transaction should also have fees? It's because blockchain has so many use cases, and if you want to build something like Facebook, a social network, you can't build social networks on Ethereum. Why? Because every transaction on the Ethereum blockchain has fees. Therefore, you cannot have social network on chain on Ethereum. That means if you want to like a post on Ethereum, you have to pay fee. If you want to make a comment, you have to pay fee. That is why you have blockchains like Hive or Steemit fees. Now, Steem is a blockchain that has no transaction fee, right? The same. I think I have that on my list right here. Point is, as long as Ethereum still has fees on every blockchain, it's going to be one of the biggest limitations to Ethereum. And that is where blockchain like EOS, Telos, Wax, name them. There are well over 15 different blockchains that don't have transaction fees. And guess what? The blockchains that we all praise today, they all have fees. So that's their limitation. Pending when they realize that it's a flaw. Now we move on. Now, blockchains problem with Ethereum, like I said, Ethereum doesn't have human readable names, and Vitalik said it himself, as we saw earlier, which is called account abstraction. Now, on-chain account abstraction, not off-chain. There are so many off-chain solutions, but we need on-chain. Now, how to scale? Now, if you have a problem on Ethereum with your smart contract, you can't easily scale it without forking the blockchain or whatever, right? But on Polkadot, you can easily just scale. On EOS also, you can easily just scale. Now, low block size, we've already discussed about this, so you can't take much transactions. Now, Polkadot solutions, I've already talked about it also. It's 6 seconds, easy to upgrade, blockchain interoperability, lower fees. This is still not a problem. Blockchain of the futures and of the future is not supposed to have fees rather for every transaction. It should be optional. Develop blockchain easily, not for users. Yeah, this doesn't have. You can easily develop blockchain with their substrate, but this has nothing to do with users. So I'm just still looking at the user point of view. Now, here's my checklist when I'm looking for a blockchain that is ready for the future. Number one, the block time should be able to serve the world, right? And if we want to be frank to ourselves, the only blockchain in the world that is ready for mass adoption is EOS. You want to be sincere to yourself. Now, forget about the team behind it. It's like saying all people from Iraq are bad because one Iraqi committed suicide in an airplane. So if Dan Larima left, right, or if Dan Larima did something wrong, the question is, did he build a build tech? And the answer is yes, a good tech rather. And the answer is yes. So EOS has block time of 0.5 seconds. It doesn't have fee for every transaction. The fees are optional rather. And EOS has human readable names, so that means you can build a full-fledged social network, any kind of dApp on EOS, because you mustn't pay fee, right? And it can handle large number of transactions, right? And the addresses are human readable. What Vitalik aims to do in Ethereum, EOS is already doing that, which is on-chain account abstraction, where your cryptocurrency address is your name. Maybe if I want to send money to Vitalik, I don't need to type 0x, I just type Vitalik and the money is gone. No compulsory fees. I've already said that. Easy to upgrade. And account security structure. I'm going to do this in another video. This is a feature of EOS that I've not seen on any blockchain ever, right? Alright guys, so that's my review on Polkadot. Polkadot, of course, is currently better than Ethereum, but just 50%, better. It still has a long way to go when you compare that to EOS. Alright guys, please do make sure you drop your feedback and your suggestions in the comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. See ya.